this is Adam Jensen. I'm a big fan of Crazy Horse Gaming. I didn't ask for this, but I'll check it out.
Hey everybody, Mike here from Crazy Horse Gaming. Now, as you may or may not know, depending on which videos have gone up on the site at this point in time, me and Liam took a trip down to Manchester to the Play Expo, which for some reason for the entire day I wanted to call the MCM Expo. I have no idea why, but I was. And as always, when we head down to one of these expos, we always end up spending way too much money on video games and building our video game collection. So, as you can imagine, here comes the arbitrary and now mandatory pickup video for the Play Expo in Manchester. Got some really cool things. Spent way too much money. So let's get down to what we got. First off, I've got my list here so I can remember what I paid. I got Crackdown. Let me build that out. For the Mega Drive. This is a Japanese version of the game. So, as you can see there, we've got Crackdown with some awesome artwork. All in Japanese. Or the manual is. There isn't a great deal of instructions on the actual cover. But the manual it came with, it's looking a bit tatty. All comes with Japanese writing, if that can be picked up by the camera. Quite a cool little find. I'm looking forward to giving this one a whirl. I've never played Crackdown for the Mega Drive. I imagine it's something rather different from what Crackdown is these days. And that cost me £7.50, which I didn't think was a bad find at all, to be honest. Next up, I got the memory backup for the Sega Saturn, which I found for the price of £10, which I don't think is a bad price. It's fairly decent for what it is. I've seen these go for a lot more on eBay and other auction sites. Got a game coming up now, which was one thing Liam was kicking himself about because he didn't see this before me. But Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the grand price of £5. Now, considering everywhere else in the expo it was selling for, between 15 to 20 at tops, I think £5 was a really good find on that day for that. Managed to pick myself up a additional Atari Jaguar controller for £8 boxed, which I think is quite a decent find, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that. Always could use an additional controller for the Jaguar, and get one boxed in this condition is really cool. So now all I need to do is get myself some more games for it. The next up, which I keep heading out of the screen to pick these things up for, was these, the Quick Shot Starfighter 3+3, which is a 6-button pad which can be used on the Mega Drive. I found these for £5 each, which I thought was a good find, but when I actually opened one of the boxes, it wasn't the Quick Shot 6-button pad, but the Megafire, Sega Megafire pad, which is like a turbo 3-button pad for the Mega Drive. So that's something a bit different. I'm a bit surprised not to have that in the box, but the other one does have the 6-button pad for the Mega Drive, which is quite cool for £5 a piece. You can't really argue with that. Put this back in this box. It's quite weird getting that pad in there because it looked like the initially it looked like the boxes were sealed. This had like wrapping on them, but it had been slightly open, so somebody's managed to open it, sneak out the pad, and sneak another pad in there, which was a bit weird, but not bad. Still something I haven't got for £5. I can't complain. Next up, I finally got my son one of the Xbox Duke pads for the original Xbox. I've been after one of these for quite a while now. It's not like they're hard to come by, but for some reason I just never picked one up, and I figured £5 while it was there, might as well pick it up. I really enjoy these pads. I know most people didn't like them, but I've got to say they're one of my favourite pads of all times, and I really like them for the original Xbox. They fit my hands perfectly. So, hardware and decent pad there, £5. Can't complain. Next up, we have Command & Conquer Red Alert for £4.50 on the PlayStation. Not the best conversion of the games. As you know, I'm a big Command & Conquer fan, and I've got them all on the PC and stuff, and I do prefer the PC ports, but I did used to play this back on the PlayStation just every now and then for a bit of change. Like I said, not the best port of the game, but still not a bad little game of £4.50. Nice to have to my collection. Next up, Escape from Monster Manor for the 3DO. Cool to add another 3DO game to my collection. I've got a fair few, well I say fair few, hitting about 10-12 games for the 3DO now, which I only recently got, so it's quite cool just to add an extra 3DO game to the collection there, and this cost me a £5, so it wasn't much at all, and maybe we shall see a Throwback Tuesday on that one coming soon, who knows. The next one is a game I have been after for a long time. It's not hard to come by, but it's just being willing to cough up the money for it when I do see it. I managed to get Night Trap for the Sega CD. This one cost me 18 quid, which I've seen this go for a lot more. It's not the cheapest price for a Night Trap, but it's nowhere near the most expensive I've seen these go for on all. I've seen these go for in excess of £30 on eBay, which I think is a bit steep, and to be fair, I'm not really willing to pay. But for 18 quid, I was wanting to pay that for it, and I'm quite happy to have that in my collection. So I expect a video coming up on that awful game sometime soon. Now, couldn't go without picking up a game for the NES, and I only picked up one this time, but I managed to get that box. That is Iron Swords Wizard and Warriors 2 for the NES, which I got for £10, which, you know, well, in my opinion, isn't bad for any NES game. For 10 quid boxed, I always think it's a pretty decent price. There's no manual, but the box is still in fairly decent nick. It's got a few scuffs and stuff there, but other than that, another game I look forward to giving a try out, because I've never played this one before. And next up, Chuck Rock 2 for the Genesis. Son of Chuck, cart only, obviously, as you can tell. I picked this up for 2 quid. Which I thought, you know, 2 quid for a Mega Drive cart, dirt cheap. I'm gonna buy that. There we are. Our collection. Now this one is probably one I went a bit over on paying wise. Not sure. I think it's about to go on price on eBay and all, but I got Robocop vs Terminator for the Sega Mega Drive for 15 quid, which could be considered quite a lot. I'm not quite sure. I think I've seen it go for about that price, maybe more on eBay. I'll have to go back and double check. But 15 quid, I've been wanting this for a while. Everywhere else, I kept seeing it on the stalls, but it was for the Master System, and I want the Mega Drive version, so I used to play this when I was a lot younger, playing back on the Mega Drive video games, and really enjoyed this, so I'm looking forward to getting back into some Robocop vs Terminator, and maybe getting a Throwback Tuesday on that one. And I believe that is the lot for my Play Expo Manchester game pickups. Quite a decent amount there for the pickups, and spent way too much money, but it's added to the collection. The collection is slowly growing and becoming a fairly decent, fairly well rounded out collection, in my opinion. Yes, so that was my pickups for the MCM, so I'm going to say again, the Play Expo at Manchester. I want to thank you all for watching this. Please don't forget to check out the other content we get up on the site, and the other content we're getting up about the Manchester Expo as often as we can. We're trying to get there's plenty of stuff going up for the Manchester Expo, you know, the footage of what we saw there, what video games we played, and things like that. Yes, so thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like this if you enjoyed the video, and hit the subscribe button. Please feel free to comment or head over to the Crazy Horse Gaming website and the Crazy Horse Gaming forum and leave any comments or questions there. We've got a brilliant forum there. Please go over there if you want to get involved in games meets, game chats, just chat about random stuff. That's the place to be. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.